All right, this is exciting stuff.
Yep, I think the vetoes are done. I don't know why I can't see. I feel like I'm missing a map here.
I think you should be okay. They're asking to remake the lobby under a different server.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, East.
How do I change that before I make it?
So go into options
Yeah,
and then language and region.
Eastern United States. Okay, got it.
Or no, it should be under language and region, and then pick game server on lobby creation. That way, like every lobby that you create, you can also choose. It's still on central.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you want, I can take host and do the first one. It's gonna be Death Aura, right? There we go. Very nice. Oh yes, put me up against Exxon's Ryan. No. I'm just kidding. Swap them zeros.
All right. So both players are ready to go. Vetoes are done, and our first map is.
Wait. Put in Jaros. We'll try it again. Hold it. Alright, here we go.
Alright, let me just switch the scene so we're all good to go.
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be a best of 3.
Okay, best of 3. So this is the second group stage of Division X.
Yep, and both these guys are GM players.
Yep.
And in the bottom left corner, we have our red Protoss player. It's Ryan from Team Axon.
And the top left, we have our blue Terran, going by the name Jaros. So I'm not too familiar with these two players. I'm just going to assume that things are going to start out at least relatively standard, because the higher level you go, the more shenanigans just sort of fall off in terms of strength. You know, like there comes a point where people have figured out what exactly to do, when exactly to do it.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment for sure. And I mean, that being said, in a best of 3, if somebody is going to cheese, they typically do it in the first matchup, but don't really see any proxies yet.
Yep. Although it is a little early to say. I think right now. Oh, actually, Ryan is sending out a probe to the low ground. It looks like it's going to be a Nexus before Cybercore, which is, from what I've heard, I'm a Zerg, so I don't know much about Protoss, but oh no, never mind. The probe is sent back to the high ground. Okay, so it's still going to be a Cyber before Nexus, which is just that little bit safer against you.
Yeah, I think he was just checking if there was a bunker or something down there, maybe a SCV lurking about. So he does get the Nexus down, and yeah, everything's pretty standard. He's just being a little nuance, blocking the command center, but these SCVs will push away this probe.
Yep. Very nice. This is exciting stuff. So they're both, what, under 18?
Yeah, both players are under 18. I think Ryan's 17, Jaros might be 17 as well. But yeah, it's an under 18 tournament. And these guys are obviously really good, as I think they're both in GM. If not, Jaros just got into GM.
Right. This is exciting. I think it's always exciting when we see StarCraft players who are either new and or very young. That shows that we got some new blood. It's not all old people. So, and then we see a Twilight as the choice of tech out of Exxon Ryan. I don't know. I feel like it could just be Blink Stalkers, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think both players are, making sure they're scouting properly and respecting each other's, utility that each race has. So I don't think anything out of the standard is going to happen yet, but I do like the Twilight Council play. It'll open up all his tech a little earlier, and the Protoss player will probably, try to get his third base and tech up into a strong army. But who knows? The Blink is on the way, so this could just be a 2-base.
Well, Blink Stalkers is a very common opener. I've seen games where, people go to 5 or 6 gates off of 2 bases, and it's definitely an all-in. I've seen games where they stay on 3 gates, and, they take a third Nexus behind it. So I think, like you said, this move is going to open up a lot of options for Exxon Ryan. I just want to say earlier, I don't know if you noticed, but that bunker went down at the perfect time, and the Marine popped right in when the Adept or when the Adept wall cast it.
Yeah.
When I play my Terran games, bro, it don't go like that. Like, my bunker's 20 seconds late and I lose 10 SCVs. It's not a fun time.
It's pretty difficult, and you can imagine at this level of play, a small mistake like that could be fatal. So both players, yes, I would say so far playing very well and not missing really a step in their builds.
Yep. I think this is going to be a macro-oriented opener out of the Protoss, since there are only 2 gates that I can see. But this Marine drop that just sort of walks right in, and now the Hellions move past. This is actually huge.
Yeah, pretty good on Ryan for sniping the medevac early, but these Hellions, excellent wall off there. The force field blocked off the ramp. And he does clean this up with somewhat minimal damage. It could have been a lot worse.
Yes.
So pretty good damage control, but he will be behind. I'm sure he's just going to Corona out those probes.
Right. That force field, oh my god, again, impeccable micro. So I'm sure that Jaros is very happy about that. It's a solid amount of damage.
Yeah, he did pretty good there.
Yep.
And he's even got his... Sorry, you go ahead.
I said what I wanted to, so.
Yeah, I was just going to point out the Raven is out now, so he's going to try to deny any vision from this observer. Not too sure if this will get any damage here. Does get the Raven, but he's going to lose most of his Stalkers for it.
Ooh. I don't know if I like that, to be honest. I think I would rather keep the Stalkers and, let the Terran have their Raven.
Yeah, he's, kind of keeping map control by being the aggressor here, but I think as soon as Terran moves out, he's going to start rallying back home and preparing a defense.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to see Widow Mines, Widow, or Mine plus Bio out of Jaros? I was going to say Jericho, I don't know why. Charge is about 2/3 done for our Protoss. We got +1 attack for both sides on the way.
Yeah, and we gotta remember that Ryan took his third quite a while ago. It was before the first attack even went out, so he does have an advantage here in terms of economy. I think Jaros is kind of playing the catch-up game if he doesn't get some more value out of his army. And it does look like he is gonna make a push out onto the map. These Stalkers are gonna have to get out of here.
So this push is a little bit scary, I would say. Simply because you're hitting with both stim and +1 attack, and you've got that tank, you've got Widow Mines, like this is a lot. And
Yeah, he's
okay,
got
well, the
a.
card is done though.
It is a sophisticated army more than Ryan's, absolutely, for now, but we've seen Ryan handle the first attack with some pretty good micro. He's going to need it again to be able to hold this for sure.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
It was a little late, but it does force the turn back. I love that Observer. The Observer sees everything tonight.
Yeah, and he's really going to delay this attack as long as possible to get more reinforcements here.
Yep. Shaves off another Widow Mine. Good catch. Ooh, look at those force fields. Ooh, that Immo is almost dead.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't go down, but the Robo does.
But yeah, the priority is on taking out that Robo, which is really great here for Jaros.
And I just want to note, across the map, 19 SCVs went down due to a Zealot drop, so this is more so an all-in from the Terran than anything else at this point.
Yeah, the damage was pretty critical on the other side as well. Both sides just taking huge economic losses. The armies haven't really confronted each other.
They're actually even on workers right now, and I believe at the cost of the natural nexus, which immediately goes back down, Exxon Ryan cleans up the turn on.
Yeah, they're throwing some haymakers.
The second observer across the map is seeing everything. I love it.
Yeah, the observer's really paying off right now. That early Raven snipe basically gave him free reign for vision again.
Yes. So who knows? Maybe all those suckers were worth it. Not that I would know.
In that sense, I think they were. But it was pretty difficult for Ryan to just hold that last attack off. But he did have a 3-base.
Yeah. So only just now is Thermal Lance, the range upgrade for Colossi, started. And you can see that Ryan, or Red Protoss, is really struggling to keep up in minerals. And the supply is just not there. This could be game right here, depending on how things go, of course. But one thing is for clear, Jaros is definitely in the economic lead.
Yeah, Jaros playing very well. He landed some pretty critical hits earlier on as well, and it's what's kept him ahead. But the longer he waits, the stronger Ryan will get as he is on 3-base again.
Yes.
2 Archons being morphed. I think Terran has an opportunity here to jump. The Archons are stuck in the back, so this is pretty good. Okay, he does blink back.
Decent force field, but now the Colossus is being targeted. Oh my god.
Yep.
Colossus just went down. And it's GG. Wow. A very clean game out of our blue Terran. Jaros got the damage that he wanted to do, got a good follow-up, and ended it with the third push. That was a really well-played game.
Yep, so Jaros will come out 1-0 in the start of this.
So like you said, both of these players are, oh, what?
I think they're going to Europe because they're going to play alternating servers for the matches.
Oh, I see. That means we also gotta move, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Which one is playing in Europe, and which one is playing in the Americas?
I think Jaros is European.
Okay.
Yeah, and Benefit did confirm Ryan is 16, Jaros is 17.
Got it.
Yeah, and our next 2 players are 16 and 18. So.
Can you add me one more time? I'm not sure how the different servers work, but I'm not getting anything on my friends list.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can add you.
Thanks.
Can you tell me your last numbers?
Yeah, 11471.
Okay, oh. Okay, I sent you a request.
Oh, got it. Very nice.
There you go.
There we go. Very nice. So like you said earlier, both of these players are in the GM range.
Yeah, taking a look at it, I think Ryan was at the end of 5K, but that was in NA. His Masters is still pretty high.
On
And
the NA
you...
server, I remember Ryan was around 5.6, 5.7K.
Okay.
And here we've got Jeros on the European server showing his true colors, also at 5.6, 5.7.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a good matchup.
Yeah, both players very similar MMR.
Yeah.
All right.
And just to reiterate that the Masters border does not necessarily mean that you're not Grandmaster. Obviously, both of them are Grandmaster. It just so happens that in order to stay in the official Grandmaster top 200 like area, you have to play like a certain number of games per week or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So MMR is, in this case, it would be a better indicator than just the border by itself. So we're gonna go into map 2, Jagannatha. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Jagannatha.
Cool.
This is a interesting map. I like this map. All right, so in the top right we have our red Protoss player from Team Exxon. It's Ryan.
And here in the bottom left, we have our blue Terran represented by Jeros, who is up 1-0 already.
Yes, he is. I should update that score. There we go. And pretty strong showing from Jeros. He got some pretty good damage done earlier in the game, even though Ryan took a pretty aggressive early third.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was like a 430 Nexus maybe. And Ryan felt confident enough to take it off of 2 gates. And that is probably because Ryan had an observer across the map, also had stalkers across the map. So like, if Jeros were to try to push out, or if Jeros were to try to do anything, like Ryan would sure as hell know about it. So
yeah, exactly. Ryan, yeah, he had a full scout on Jeros pretty much throughout the entire game, which really helped with the reactions. But his defense just wasn't quite enough. His tech wasn't up quite enough. If there was, more Colossus up with the extended thermal lance upgrade, maybe it could have been a fight he would have held. Hard to call.
Yeah. It's so interesting because Protoss is different from the other races. Oh, actually, Ryan loses the scouting probe.
Yeah.
Could have missed micro, missed management. Anyway, so Protoss is interesting because each Protoss unit is so expensive and so beefy. You compare it to like one Marine or one Zergling. If you lose one Zergling, okay, well, I don't know about other Zergs, but I don't give a crap. Like, one Zergling is one Zergling. And if you're a Terran Bio player, like, one Marine is one Marine. But
yeah.
One Colossus, like, that's huge. That makes a huge difference. So I agree with you. I think, if Ryan had that extra Colossus out, that fight would have gone a lot differently.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge pickup when he sniped the Colossus last game, but let's see what kind of tech Ryan goes in for this time. Shout out to everybody in chat who's checking this game out. It should be a pretty good series. The first game was pretty good. Jeros and both Ryan and Jeros are around 5.6k. Cobblestone was just asking in chat. But yeah, no, everything looks like the same opening from both sides.
This time, both players are taking a bit of extra, I'll just call it damage. Like, it's really superficial, So the scouting probe on the Terran side of the map was killed. Oh, the Adept actually gets in. This is a pretty decent
Yeah.
scout, so everything is standard. The Hellion
He'll
is going to shoot it away eventually.
yeah, he'll
what I was
probably
gonna
kill
say is
this.
that earlier the Reaper actually died to the Adept because of the Reaper wall on the high ground. So I think that as of right now, especially with this DT Shrine coming out, like my guy Jeros got no clue, got zero clue what's going on.
Yeah,
What to watch out for.
I'm pretty concerned for Jaros. I think he's gonna have a big brain moment and scan it, but usually it's around like 4.5 minutes that happens. Might be too late, you know what I mean? So yeah,
Oh,
I think
it's
you're
definitely
absolutely
gonna be
right.
too late. This build, this DT build, hits around 440. I want to say, like you see that the Warp Prism is already basically done.
Yep.
So I think that if Jaros doesn't have scans saved up, there's literally physically no way to detect them.
Yeah, and it's that point where I think he just dropped a mule. His second orbital will have his scan ready by the time the drop comes, but he's got one shot to clean up all the DTs. I don't think it's gonna happen.
At the same time, though, we do have a very light Widowmine drop going down in the natural, and
This
it
might be
looks like it's
juicy.
gonna get some kills.
Oh,
Okay, nice
both
pull. Oh,
both hit the
disaster
same.
was avoided.
Yeah. And the DTs are now wreaking havoc. He definitely wishes he saved some of the energy. One scan goes down, but he can only pick one off. Third DT gets dropped into the main base. It's chasing the tank. Yeah, this is definitely panic mode. Second scan goes down, cleans up the second DT, but there one still remains. And the Raven is almost out, so...
Oh, a bit of missed micro. Yep, Raven is out. Wow, that was a very clean hold, pulling the SCVs at the right time. Only 5 of them go down.
Yeah, and technically the Widowmine drop was more efficient. Looking at the resources lost, the DTs actually cost him quite a bit for not that much value.
At the same time, though, looking at the units tab, Ryan is ahead by more than 10 workers, which means that it's a substantial lead. And, you know, forcing out scans instead of mules, I think there are also hidden costs when looking at DTs. So this DT tries to pop in, pops back out. Really good Warp Prism micro, just, you know, saving everything. Third Nexus is almost halfway done.
Yeah, and he's keeping Jaros honest with this, right? The presence of the Warp Prism kind of forces him to be more defensive than he'd like to be, I'm sure, at this point. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Ryan, with the advantage of 2 fully saturated bases that early, I'm sure he's oversaturating to get ready for his third. So clear
so
econ.
Ryan's just throwing out all of the upgrades. Already a Thermal Lance is on the way. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Already, we've got a Colossus already on the way. And we also have Thermal Lance in research. We have Charge halfway done. I think that Ryan is in a much better position to handle the same kind of push as compared to last game.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have very different units from what we saw last game, but I think he has everything a little earlier. His tech is on the way a little quicker. Last game we kind of saw him take the third while getting attacked and fending off damage, but nothing really this game yet.
So now the Terran is moving across the map, and we're going to have to see how this one plays out. The second Colossus is almost done, and like we were discussing earlier, this second Colossus could make a big difference. And looking at the supply, last time Terran was up to like 120, 140. So this push is a lot less scary. Oh my god, I honestly think that was a beautiful Raven shot.
Yeah. So this is pretty dangerous now with that one Colossus disabled. Did a lot of damage. It does get picked off. And the tank is almost untouched.
So this really hurt the pylon going down at the natural. That was a really good pick by Jaros because it disabled 2 warp gates. And in this scenario, you want every single warp gate possible. Some good Widowmine hits. Targeting the tank, it finally goes down.
Yeah, this
This Colossus has 7 kills. Oh, Robo goes down.
it's doing its job, but the Robo eliminated before the second Colossus comes out. And with the reinforcements headed on the way from Jaros, I think this might be the end here.
Yeah, this very well could be. I mean, it's not looking good at all. If note that second Colossus was out, this bio, this sort of critical massive bio never really died. It just kept doing damage.
Yeah.
19 probes have gone down. Like, this is definitely critical damage.
Ryan.
You see a Zealot warping across the map.
Yeah.
But it's not going to do anything because the bio's right there.
There was some DTs involved earlier, but they got picked off quickly. Ryan trying to do some counter harass, but the army count is pretty different right now. And if he gets hit again, I think it might be his final fight.
This is so interesting because the worker count is still in favor of our Protoss. And looking at the supply, it's not all that different, but I think you're right. Like this really,
Ooh.
I don't know. I would be very uncomfortable after Protoss.
Really strong.
Some more free probes.
This is just too much bio, and with the Colossus disabled even before it does anything, yeah, that's gonna be GG.
GG. So Jaros takes it in a clean fight, 2-0.
Really well played, yeah.
Yeah. Those disables, man, I gotta tell you, those were some perfect disables. Like, the Raven didn't even get contested, you know? It popped in, popped back out, that was it.
Yep. Yeah, and we saw, I think, in a way, both players adjusted their tactics there. Jaros making sure he had a Raven ready.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, the Colossus were out earlier, but the disable was just such a hard counter to it.
Yep. And so that's one of the sorts of weaknesses of Protoss. Because each unit matters so much individually, one disable would cripple the Protoss a lot more than, I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible to disable a Hydra, but you get my point.
Yeah, I don't know what Jaros could have, or sorry, Ryan could have done differently rather than kind of go for more aggressive 2-base plays, because he was macroing really hard, like you mentioned. Every time he was much further ahead in worker count, almost a base up at most times, but his army just couldn't cut it. So I think he was thinned out a little bit in that sense.
Yeah. Just as a note, as the Protoss, it is standard to be about 0.5 bases ahead, whether you count that in workers and or mineral saturation, however you want to calculate it. There are many metrics, but because the Terran has mules, they're supposed to be quote-unquote behind in every single matchup. So I'm including against Protoss and against Zerg. So actually, I think that Ryan was playing a really good macro game. It's just that the damage he was sustaining from the early harass was just too much, and it set him up for death by push later on.
Yeah,
I think that
he didn't really have it countered.
Yeah. If the harass got, only 2 probes or something like that, then his DT's got in enough work, sets him up for a good mid game, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was sad to see the DTs didn't really work out as planned, but it was a good attempt.
Yeah, and kudos to Jaros for handling that like a pro. Like 5 workers only, and it looks really simple. You just throw down a couple of scans and wait for your Raven, but in the heat of the moment, StarCraft is not an easy game, and pulling off that kind of defense is really, really difficult.
Yeah, I think really, really strong showings from both players. So our next matchup is going to be Argon, who is a Zerg player, versus Ryuchi, who I haven't seen play before, but let me search him up.
Very, very exciting. I am a Zerg player myself, so I'm gonna watch some high level moves.
Don't see Ryuchi on. Let me see. Okay, I see Ryuchi now.
Very nice.
I can invite him to the party. Let me see. Where is Argon? All right, let's just take a like a 2-minute break. I'm just gonna get some water and stuff, and
Yep, sounds good.
we'll just wait for the other player to show up.
For sure.
All right, we'll be right back, guys.
Alright, so now we got both of our players here. Just doing some vetoes.
Yeah, these guys are just going to veto some maps, and then we'll get right into the second series.
So I think it's kind of funny that we're noting MMR here because it is a commonly recited mantra that your MMR should be plus or minus 200 or 300, and that's your actual MMR. Because on a bad day, you could be doing much worse, and then on a good day, you could be playing much higher level people than you normally would. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm excited for Argon versus Ryuichi.
Yeah,
this is looking to be a good one.
I've seen Argon play before. He's very sharp with his build, so it's always fun to see, you know, how quickly he can perform, how strong his pushes are. Ryuichi. I don't want to say his name wrong. I haven't seen him play.
Yeah.
Alright. So first map will be Light Shade. Guess we can get that started up.
So you mentioned Zerg builds. Very interesting. The only Zerg builds I know are cheeses.
Those are viable. They're very viable.
Yeah, they are. A lot of Zerg builds that I've observed, especially in Zerg versus Protoss, they aim to hit when the Protoss is weakest. And I gotta tell you, like, there are some really, really weak points, assuming the Protoss is going pure macro. Like, I've seen it happen so many times where Roaches alone just sort of run the Protoss over because they have one immortal and like no shield battery or anything like that.
Yeah. I think, a lot of Zerg's plays based around defending earlier and then just overwhelming your opponent. Alright, so first map will be Light Shade, second will be Death Aura, and game 3, if it comes to it, will be on Jagannatha. Alright, looks like both players are ready to go, so we'll get right into it. I'm excited there's not any mirror matchups yet.
Yeah. Oh, those are actually sometimes they can be interesting, but
I'm sure at this
playing
level
them
they
is
will
cool.
be.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's really a knife's edge. In my experience, Zerg versus Zerg is maybe the most volatile matchup because, you know, you let one Baneling connect on all of your Zerglings, it could be game.
Yep. Alright, so in the top left corner, we have our teal Protoss Ryuichi.
And in the bottom right, we have our red Zerg. I believe he's an EU player. Goes by the name of Argon. Sorry, they.
Yeah, so Argon is European under 18. I think he is 18, so this is his time to shine before I guess he goes to the big leagues. And then Ryuichi is 16. So pretty young. I don't remember if I was excelling at StarCraft at 16.
Well, excelling is always subjective, so don't worry. I'm sure you're excelling by whatever standard you want. I love this. Argon already pulling out a fast one. I'm sure Ryuichi saw the drone moving across the map because the two did, high five on the way to the other side of the map, respectively. Argon already putting down a proxy hatch, immediately giving Argon control of the matchup.
Yeah, I love
And I
the
love
hatch
this.
block.
Yeah,
I think Ryu Ichi is going to respond appropriately to this. So it'll just be a little, wrench thrown in the gears of our Protoss players' build,
yes.
but I don't think this will be anything detrimental. So Argon will have to figure out where he's going to go with this once it gets blocked.
A bit of a mind game. So, okay, just to review what just happened on the Zerg side of the map, disregarding the proxy hatch for a second. The Protoss pylon finished at the the Zerg natural blocking it.
Correct.
And the drone came back, and that's a bit of a metagame because Argon expected the pylon to be cancelled. I don't know if Ruichi simply wasn't paying attention, but the pylon actually finished, and this is a bit inconvenient for the Zerg, forcing the natural to be built at third position.
Yeah.
So this could be a metagame, this could be a mistake, I don't know, but it's very interesting to me.
Yeah, that is important to note that, if you're trying to conserve your minerals, you just usually cancel the pylon, but if it could be a mind game into a mind game, right? Like you mentioned, Argon probably wanted to put that drone to work and make the hatchery there, but it is now delayed by almost a minute if he wanted to rush something out there.
Yes. So very interesting move, going for 6 Zerglings instead of 4. And what I mean by going for is like openly revealing them by putting them on the pylon. If I were trying to hide a Bane Bust, as I expect Argon is trying to hide right now, I would not be making 6 lings and then showing them to my opponent. Although, as I say that, Argon is routing some lings to the north side without the Adept being able to see it, and I really like that move. So this could be a very good setup for a Bane and Dust. However, Ruichi knows that something's up. 2 shield batteries are down, a Stalker, 2 Adepts. Like, this is as good a defense as I've seen.
Yeah, I think it gave it away when he noticed there was a very late or no third in sight. So he's preparing accordingly, but again, he doesn't know if this is just roaches, if this is just a ling flood, but he's got his units. The force field has to be pretty good to be able to hold these. It does get it off.
Wow. Doesn't even risk losing the Zealot. That's an interesting move, because behind the Zealot are, of course, Stalkers and Adepts and whatnot, and you could possibly save the force field for something else. However, there are 2 more sentries, which means that Ruichi's going to have more than enough force fields to zone this out. And overall, I think that, like, if I'm calling it early, this could be game for Ryuichi. Like, Ryuichi's so far ahead.
Yeah, Ryuichi is reacting just the right amount of, minerals spent on everything. I think the shield batteries are appropriate. 4 is pretty good with this many lings and banelings sitting outside. If he had gone for a huge Bane bus, I mean, he could still break this front wall. But obviously Argon, he realized that he was not going to be able to break it. He put his third down very late. So yeah, absolutely, Ryuichi, the ball is in his court. He can do whatever he likes right now.
Yeah. At the same time, Argon is taking all 4 gases that are available to them right now. Oh, my bad. It must have been an extractor trick at the 3rd position.
Okay.
So just 1 extra gas.
He must have.
For a moment, I saw 2 gases being taken, and the one in the main being taken.
Yeah, I think you're right. He was supply blocked, so he probably just wanted to get those drones out earlier. A little bit of a show that, things aren't going exactly as planned for Argon. Ryuichi got his observer here. He can see exactly how much is here prepared for defense, and even how much, his third is saturated, so he knows how far ahead he is.
Yep. Our Teal Protoss, I mean, look at this. Charge is already on the way. A War Prism is already out, and a DT Shrine is starting. Like, one of those alone is kind of scary, but all of them, like, that's an indication of how far ahead Ryuichi is. And I don't think the Zerg has enough to really do anything right now. I do like this poke with the Zerglings, you know, just to see what's up. Give allow the Zerglings to take a little bit more value because obviously they weren't able to break the front wall earlier.
Yeah, and Ryuichi just ensured that this plan that he's carrying out is going to work because there's no lair in the main for Argon, and he just checked the second and the third, and no lair there. So these DTs are going to hit hard.
For sure. And actually, just about 10 seconds ago, Ryuichi was floating an uncharacteristically high amount for his GM. And that's just because the DT Shrine was actually a little bit late. You could tell that Ryuichi was banking enough for DTs, but the DT Shrine actually wasn't done. Not like it matters because the DTs are already on the Zerg side of the map. There's no detection.
Yeah.
There's no layer at all. I think this could be game.
And I think this is a huge blunder from Argon because typically you want to have those spores out, and yeah, it's going to be insta GG for sure.
Amazing. Very, very solid game. So Ryuichi suspected what was coming. Did not see the Bane lanes because of the pathing that the Zerg took to the north. Zerglings took to the north. But overall, a really clean hold. Nothing went down, actually. I think even the Zealot was saved, right? Because of the early force field.
Yeah, no, he played very well. And yeah, definitely Argon making a critical error there. Because DTs are always viable. And you should never not be prepared for that.
Exactly.
So the second match is going to be on Death Aura. We're going to bring that right up.
All right.
Let's get Argon in there. You and I are refs. And no match history as they requested. Alright, the players are ready. We're going to get right into it.
All right. Exciting stuff. And it's not like the Bane Bust was executed poorly, it's just that Ryuichi handled it very well.
Yeah, the force field was, I don't know, near perfect. I don't know if he could have done that any differently. He saved everything, and Argon just knew he had to back away.
Yep.
Alright, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Ryuichi. He's fighting for a chance to move on to game number 3.
Yes, sir. And in the top left, we have our red Zerg down 0-1 right now. Just by the name of Argon.
Game paused.
Oh, requesting a pause.
Okay.
So, Shivi, your clan tag, is that Legion?
Yeah. I do most of, any casts or stuff with other Legion members, because they organize a bunch of tourneys.
I see.
Alright, looks like they are ready to go. I don't want to...
Game resumed.
Okay, the ref has to do it. I think the rules changed when we went to ref, but okay, perfect. But yeah, no, they have a bunch of tournaments happening most weekends, so it's fun to get some casts in there. I love watching some StarCraft 2, and I guess this is more of a treat to get these high level players.
Yes, definitely. So I just want to note that for the Teal Protoss, who is on match point, by the way, the low ground wall at the natural, I believe it's a 2-building wall. So I highly doubt that Argon is going to go for any early game shenanigans, at least that involve breaking the wall, because that wall is already up. Super early, since it's only 2 buildings.
Yeah, Death Aura is very good for Protoss because they can put that wall up and it costs them less than a normal one would. So I don't think, I think you're right in assuming that the kind of cheese potential is a little bit more riskier for Zerg to pull off here. It can be held with less effort.
For sure. I do like the natural block though. It's just a little bit inconvenient, but it could matter a lot for things like Adept plays later on. The fact that the Zerg's natural is now at the third position. Because the distance obviously is greater, it just sort of delays everything.
Yeah.
I really like that move.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a nuance when you have to walk off of creep between those bases.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Everything's
This pro
pretty
really wants
standard.
to, yeah. Alright, so it's going to be an Adept first. I assume it's going to try to scout out the Zerg. And we see a Twilight going down. I believe this Overlord is going to see it. It is on the right path.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a nice little early spot with this Overlord. You know, usually you try to get the Overlord close to the front and out, but getting a full scout in the main base is really nice, especially since the Stalker, I don't think we'll be able to kill it.
Oh, this is going to be a close one. This is so funny to watch because usually I lose all of my Overlords to Stalkers.
Yeah, I usually do if the Stalker catches it. I think it'll still get it now that I look at it. A little bit more real estate than I anticipated. One hit too many.
3 drones actually going down due to the 2 Adepts, or was it just one?
It was just the single Adept, but
that's a really good trade actually. Wow.
Yeah, an Overlord and 3 drones at this point is a nice little bonus.
And this wall at the Protoss Natural is even safer because of the second gate, just to provide a bit more of a buffer.
Yeah.
I actually have to be AFK for 1 second. I will be right back.
No worries. So yeah, Ryuichi going for the Dark Shrine again. And the question is really, will Argon anticipate it this time? The typical timing, you definitely want to have some kind of detections or spores up just shortly after 4:30, just to fight off any oracles and the Dark Templar threat. So he does see the War Prism, but he saw it last time as well, and I'm not sure if his reaction was up to par to deal with it. Meanwhile, the 3 Adepts are also going to head out. This is pretty dangerous. I don't think Argon has put down any Spore Crawlers. Okay, he's got one at his second base, which is at his third base location. Very hard to get over there and defend if you're split. And yeah, 3 DTs are going to be warped right into the main. And again, the Spore Crawler is just too late. It needs to be up by 4:30. It's going to be scary. This is a lot of DTs. Okay, so this game, he does not insta-tap. The Spore is going to die before it gets completed. And if the second Spore Crawler gets eliminated as well, oh no, he used the Transfuse on the Queen. This is getting very difficult to hold now. He should have... Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Ryuichi takes game number 2. That was a series of unfortunate events, to say the least. Alright, where did we... The last map is going to be Jagnatha. Ooh. I guess Argon's having really bad ping. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, okay, okay. No, it is definitely 2-0. All right, so we're gonna have the lures bracket.
Well played by Ryuichi, cleaning up the series 2-0.
All right, so the losers bracket is gonna be Ryan.
Ryan versus Argon.
Argon.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to Europe. I think both players were on Europe.
Perfect.
So let me just grab. Actually, Ryan might be NA, but we'll see.
We can still play the first game on EU as a courtesy to Argon.
That's fair. That is fair. Let me see. Ooh. I don't see him online in the Europe.
Okay, we can ping them in the Discord. Oh wait, we're going straight to the losers bracket, right? We're not going through game 3 because Ryuichi won 2-0.
Yeah, he won 2-0. Yeah, I just
okay.
misspoke.
Good. Just making sure.
Okay. Okay, I have Argon on Europe. Let's see, Ryan. I don't see Ryan. I think I messaged the right guy.
Okay,
Just waiting for a response.
for sure. It should be Exxon Ryan, right? Or, well, I don't know about you, actually.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is he in the channel? No. Might just be on like NA.
I can stay on EU. Well, go check if you need to.
Actually, I don't see him on the friends list. Alright guys, we'll just take another like 2 minutes while we get the 2 next players ready for their match, and then we'll be back. All right, I got Ryan, so we could probably get started.
Very nice. Are we still doing this on the EU server?
We're gonna have to talk to both players and see what they agree
Okay.
to. But
Sounds good.
just invite me back into the.
Yep, got it.
All right, I'll
Alright.
suggest Ryan as well. Okay, he's here.
Yep, Ryan's in here. No, third should go to the player. Well, actually, if it's tied up, I'm holding up. Yeah, I was gonna say loser third. So whoever loses the second game can be picked. What is... Ryan is kind of impatient. I think that's not a good quality to have, especially if you're trying to be a professional player.
All right, so they're going through the vetoes.
Yep.
Ryan's just, a kid who's running out of time. He's in a rush. He has more tourneys to play. So the vetoes so far: Submarine, Pillars of Gold, Juggernautha, Oxide. All right, let's see what the first map will be here.
First is Light Shade,
Light Shade. All right.
and then Argon is going to pick the second, and then we'll have the third. Alright, Light Shade, Death Aura, and Romanticide?
I think so. Yep.
Alright, that's the order.
Alright, the player should be ready. I think Ryan's just using the bathroom, then we're going to start it right up.
So another ZVP. It's going to be interesting. See how Ryan responds to Archon's proxy hatch. I'm hoping that the proxy hatch comes out again. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I think Terran is just a hard matchup for both Protoss and Zerg. So in the first match Ryan played, I think he just got hit with some very strong timing attacks that were difficult to hold. But in a ZVP, I think it's the roles are reversed and he's going to be the aggressor, and it might be more comfortable for him because it seemed he was having a hard time defending and macroing at the same time against Terran. On the flip side, Argon, he was saying he was having really bad ping and stuff, but he did just die to DTs for not having spore crawlers. So as much as I would like to say,
Ryan was discussing with him.
No, like Argon just lost to DTs against what's his name?
Right.
Ryuichi, right? So
right.
I think Argon just kind of misplayed those rather than it being really a ping issue. But I'm sure the ping did not help if it's like over 200. Okay, both players are ready. If you're good to go,
Yeah, let's do this.
all right, T-Dragon, let's get right into this series.
Yes,
This
sir.
is the losers bracket, and after that, we will see which one of these guys goes to the final match.
Yep. So whoever loses here gets knocked out of the group stage. This is a critical moment for both players.
Yes, it is. The pressure is on. So in the bottom right-hand side, oh, we have a pause.
Oh,
Did I make us refs again? We might have made us refs.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the
I'm
mind
glad
games
it's not
begin.
a- Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's better than pausing in the middle of a fight or something like that. So
We will just patiently wait.
yep.
What's going on for our friend Ryan here?
Hopefully it's nothing critical.
Alright, it looks like he's back.
Very nice.
Game resumed.
Alright,
Alright,
anyways.
now we can get to the intros.
Yeah, so bottom right-hand side, we have our Protoss player, Ryan from Team Exxon.
Yes, sir. In the top left, we have the red Zerg Argon going under the Pariah clan. Never heard of that clan. I'm not familiar with EU clans.
I'm sure there are a ton over there which we haven't heard of. I mean,
Yeah,
even around
sure.
here, there's tons of clans in NA that I've never heard of, and I find out new ones week by week.
Yeah.
But
for
Exxon, I've seen a few times, and as far as I know,
Exxon
they're not
is-
the most cheesy players. They're pretty solid players.
For sure. Exxon is very solid. I believe they're Canadian based, and they have players all over North America. So everything's standard. Oh wow, that is, except for what Ryan just did, that's a Nexus before game, so a very greedy opener from our profile.
Yeah, I was gonna call you out when you said everything's standard. I'm like, why is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
a Nexus on my screen?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Very-
Ryan being very, very greedy, like you pointed out, like there's different levels of being greedy against a Zerg player. That has to be probably the greediest version of it. Sometimes they'll go. I would say even like Nexus before core is like, you could get 12 pulled.
yeah, yeah,
But this is just Nexus before anything.
right. Wow, this is interesting. I don't know what purpose the second gas serves. Maybe it's because you have 75 extra minerals and you just want to dump it down somewhere. But we are
Yeah.
going to see that Cyber go down, and that Cyber is late. I don't know if Argon would notice that. I probably would if I saw that, and I'm like, hey, that probe just started a Cyber. Like, that
Right.
Cyber should already have started. And
Yeah.
that Nexus is done. Like, there's...
I think
This is
I
very
think
good.
Argon should definitely be recognizing that right now. And in his mind, I imagine he's doing a quick scenario. If he rushes right now, what could he get done? If he tries to fast expand right now twice, what could he get done?
Right.
And the
Right.
balls, ball's in his court now, because if he doesn't act quickly, he's going to fall behind economically. And if he doesn't
Yep.
attack on time, he's not going to be able to break.
I do like this, the two Zerglings just sort of poking in, because obviously that first scouting overlord did see that the first unit out was not an adept or a stalker, it was in fact a zealot. And zealots, of course, are melee, which means that their potential for fighting Zerglings in this early game stage is basically nullified. Adepts have range, and they can shade, which means they can chase the Zerglings. So
Mhm.
the adept is favored in that fight. The zealot can't really do anything, and it's just there as a placeholder in the wall.
Yeah,
We do see the Stargate, and I believe
Argon
Did
did
Argon see
see it. He saw it being
Yes.
made. He probably clicked it. I imagine these
Yeah.
guys don't miss that kind of free info.
right. Yep, you're right. Spore immediately goes down. Another Spore. Yep,
So yeah, he definitely recognized it.
for sure.
And I mean, besides being supply blocked for a second there, I like what he's doing. He's gonna keep the map presence just so he's aware of where the attack's gonna come from when it does. Just pokes in.
Poking in. I like it a lot. Yep. So it's going to be a Phoenix play. It's not going to be an Oracle or a Void Ray. I hate Void Rays, dude. Or actually, no. I should say I don't like Sky Toss. Void Rays, ever since they're buffed, they've been seeing a lot more use in the early game.
They are pretty annoying.
Yeah.
Ryan's pretty bummed out probably right now that he hasn't gotten more overlords. The last one's like slowly headed back, hasn't been spotted yet somehow.
Oh,
So he
that's
goes
a
to
nice pick.
2 drones.
Yep. And this is where the strength of the Phoenixes comes out. And now we're going to see double Stargate play, double Stargate Phoenix, which is really strong against Zergs who are unaware. So against this, the Zerg needs to fix their rallies such that if they choose to rally drones to a different patch, which is obviously necessary when you're going up to 3 bases or 4 bases, you have to be so careful, because if you're not watching for a split second, the Phoenixes will pick all of them off. And we're actually seeing that at the third right now.
Yeah, there's enough of a Phoenix count here to be able to get in and get some free value. And it's just going to start to snowball. So Argon's probably going to want to either counter or get more spores up.
Argon is actually sitting at a decent amount. I think so far the defense has been solid. I remember when Double Stargate Phoenix first came out, Cyril was the one who everybody said pioneered the counter, which is basically just over drones. You know, just make more drones, because, well, what's the Protoss going to do? It's not like they can push you when they have Phoenixes out on the other side of the map.
You make a good point. You make a good point, but I guess Argon, it's something that'll keep him busy, and he's gonna maintain, you know, his other duties, so to speak, and see, you know, because Ryan's just taken his 3rd right now, and Argon should be well on his way into his 4th. So I'm kind of curious what he's going for.
Yep. Actually banking a hefty amount of gas. I think maybe the gas geysers were taken at a bit of an unusual timing. Maybe Argon was not expecting to be so supply blocked given the Phoenix play.
Yeah, they have been annoying. Even
Wow,
though
look at that.
another 2, yeah. Even though it doesn't look like, you know, much has been done. It's 8 drones, 4 overlords just been picked off by these Phoenix.
Yep.
He did lose 1, but I'm sure that was earlier.
Got the Queens here. Confusing the Overlord that is desperately trying to get out of the way.
Yep.
All in all,
And the thing about the Phoenix play, the real counter to it is you just expand even more aggressively. Because there's nothing the Phoenix could do. So Argon could have expanded a little earlier, but his 4th is on the way. But, you know, Ryan's almost fully saturated at his 3rd.
So just now, a carrier routed to the triangle fourth at the Protoss base, and I don't know if Argon scouted it with the Zergling. Obviously, Argon did get a notification saying that the Zergling was under attack and that it died. Hopefully, Argon reacted quick enough to see that it was a carrier's interceptors that killed the Zergling, because that is actually a big piece of information. It tells Argon that Skytoss is going to be the name of the game and not something like ICA or Stalker Colossus.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Ryan is also desperately trying to get Storm as fast as he can, because he does see the Hydra count growing quicker and quicker, and his army won't be able to do much against these Hydras. Once the Vipers are out, the carriers will slowly get picked off.
Yeah, yeah. I personally have a lot of trouble with Skytoss, even with Vipers and a good late game army. My control is just not good enough, so hopefully this is a good master class in how to deal with this playstyle. And we actually see the Zerg moving out. This is going to be interesting. Although it's only, 4 carriers, so it could be enough Hydras to just kill all the interceptors.
Well, if he has a
Ground
chance, it's definitely now, with Storm still being researched.
The Queens are brought along. Okay, so this is pretty much all in from our Zerg. No drones are on the production tab, and the Zerg is sitting at 60 drones. So this is definitely an all-in position. Hydra speed just finishes now. +1 missile is already done. Lurkers are going down. Queens are in the front. Hydras are in the back, killing interceptors. I think the Zerg might have enough. It's hard to say. The Lurkers are lifted.
Yeah,
Taken out of the fight temporarily.
pretty good lifts on the Lurkers, and yeah, just as Storm finishes, there's no real army left to hold this.
Yeah. Wow, a very clean break. Very few Hydras died. 2 Lurkers did go down, but obviously that means there are 2 Lurkers left, and they can do a lot of damage to the ground army of Protoss.
Yeah, and he's just gonna sit here between the 2 bases. There's nothing really Ryan can do until his interceptor count is back to full.
Yep.
And a Storm does go
big
down.
Storm.
Pretty juicy.
Yep. I do like the harass with the small squad of Hydras at the natural. Wow, almost 20 probes are going down. And GG is all very well played.
That was
So
a
that
serious
was a
one.
really good play. We're switching to NA, right?
Yes.
Okay. Very, very well played. So in that game, our Zerg Argon just said no to the Sky Toss and
It
just sort of
was
shut it down,
it was just in time, to be honest.
Yeah.
If there had been another 30 seconds or something, I think there would have been a lot more storms.
Yes. Definitely.
All right, let's get these guys. Where are they? For some reason, I can't see our chat for the.
Oh, I see. The
Oh,
Discord.
there it is. Okay. And who are we missing? Argon.
I think that was a really good timing by our Zerg player. Honestly, I think it was more of a reactive timing because there are 3 things that are running in my mind. Number 1, the Phoenixes got consistent damage, which they are expected to do, especially at this high of a level.
Yeah.
And so the drone count, instead of being something like 85, it was around 60. Number 1. Number 2, the upgrades for the Zerg, which were missile attack and +1 missile and Hydra speed, they were actually not aligned, which leads me to believe that this was not the plan in the beginning. And number 3, the floating and the supply blocks and the general macro of the Zerg was actually not as solid as our Protoss, especially towards the end, um, which makes me suspect that this was sort of an off timing that was cobbled together last minute, and it worked obviously, but it was definitely not. Um, I think it was not as premeditated as some other timings are.
Yeah, I think
Yep,
it's the next map is gonna be Death Aura.
yes.
So obviously that's pretty nice for Protoss. Alright. Let's see if they're ready. Ryan, no match history, that's right. Alright. You good to go, T-Dragon?
Yep, let's do this.
Alright, let's do this.
Okay, so game 2 of the losers bracket. In the top left corner, we have the loser currently up 1-0. It's Argon.
And in the bottom right corner, we have the Protoss player, Ryan. And he gave it a good shot last time, but Argon hit just in time and pretty much just owned him before Storm was up.
Yeah. That single storm was not enough to save him. It was a good one. It was a really juicy storm, I'm going to be honest. But against Hydras, you need at least 2 because 1 storm is not enough to one-shot Hydras.
Yeah, imagine he had like 3 full energy Templar.
Yeah.
Might have won the game, but I'm sure
Maybe.
we've seen Ryan adjust mid-game and tweak his plays. It didn't work out in his last bracket, but maybe he can do something here against a Zerg player. Who, by the way, is cheesing.
Yeah. A pool first. Not even a gas pool, so I'm pretty sure it's just, poking with some lings. And we see a pylon block. Okay, there we go, so it's canceled. But it already forced Argon to take the 3rd position in that pool. This is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. That cyber position is... Oh, I see. I like that a lot. So you put the gateways up front and you protect the cyber core in the back. Because obviously cybers enable all other gateway units besides zealots. So if the cyber goes down, then the Zerg almost has complete free reign over the Protoss army in the early game.
Yeah, that block does make a huge difference. And again, it's Death Aura, which is Protoss favored for walling. But let's see how soon he can actually get some kind of defense here.
Oh wow, even pulling some probes. I don't know about this. It's only 8 lings. The lings are getting some good... Wow, 2 probes. That is some good damage, and a lot of gateway damage.
Yeah, that gateway might not make it. And the wall breaks.
Huge. That is huge. That's such a tiny investment for a huge payoff, because now Protoss has to remake the wall. The Zealot has to run around and use up APM. Risk getting a few more probe kills, and look at what the Zerg is doing behind us. Getting 2 queens, droning up behind it. This is a good position for our Zerg.
Yeah, everything's back on track for Argon. And he's being very annoying in the base right now. He might even get out with a couple of these lings. Oh, he goes for the probe.
Oh, that's cute.
Holds them in.
Yeah.
At the cost of 25 minerals.
Yeah.
Just it's more of a moral win. That one.
I was just about to say that. Yep. Maybe not economically, especially this early on, but
Yeah, I can't
nevertheless,
imagine Ryan's happy.
yeah, yeah, for sure. We do see two adepts going across, and we see some more safety lings just about to pop. It's going to be a total of 6 lings and 2 queens, I believe.
Yeah, and
The third is already taken.
he's a ways away from speed. So these adepts can poke around.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, pull the drones. The
On
shades are canceled, which means we're going to stay here and
2,
pick off some drones.
3. Not
Wow.
that bad. I mean, I
Yeah,
thought
good
he
trade
wasn't
for
gonna
Adept.
get anything, so that was good.
Yeah, for sure. Another supply block. The stalker back at home for Ryan killed an overlord.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Cause now he's just got a bunch of links and he wants drones.
We see a DT shrine being started. We also see a spore crawler being started. As long as as long as our Zerg here, Argon, makes 1 spore per base. Okay, we do see a layer. So I think what Argon is going for is instead of spores or prioritizing spores, they might prioritize overseers. But we do not see a Roachborn being built, so this is still very scary from the. Oh, there we go. Roachborn just started.
I like anything where he has vision to guard against DTs.
Yeah.
I'm all for all those choices because it's an easy way to just absolutely throw your game.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and I mean he bit a bit of this gateway's shield off, but he's just trying to keep map control for now. But the War Prism is on the other side of the map, and what do we see here?
This is scary. That earlier one was hard supply blocked at 50, so there are not going to be a lot of units out. Just 2 queens are in position. We have some lings here. That's an easy snipe on the floor. There we go, and the drones are trying to surround it.
Pretty good hold.
Started.
But he doesn't have a transfuse.
Oh my god.
Wow, the wall worked. Wow.
The thing is, 8 drones went down. Is that worth it? I don't actually know if that's worth it, to be honest, because this year was just about to pop anyway.
Yeah, I think it's another one of those moral wins.
Yeah, there you go.
Both sides just playing with their egos.
Wow, that is... Ouch. If I were the Zerg, I'd be hurting right now, because I'm down. Oh, wow. Okay, so the Zerg actually manages to catch up. So the DTs are not going to get anything more done. They're going to be converted into Archons. Transfuse goes down on the Spore just in case. We do have Roaches out, so this is... Both players are almost even. I think Protoss is just a little bit ahead.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to just protect himself against these Archons, but they could be annoying. Just draw his attention long enough.
Right.
Ryan will take his third if Zerg has to stay at home.
Yeah. Very clean. Archons don't really do anything. More Roaches are on the way. I'm not sure I like that, because Argon just proved that the Roaches he had at the time weren't enough for the Archons.
Mm-hmm.
So this could actually be a push, given that Argon is severely, or not severely, but kind of behind in economy.
Yeah, he's definitely been slowed down by the early DT harass. Like you mentioned, it did kill 8 drones.
We see more Roaches and Lings being produced, as well as some Ravagers. Honestly, I think Argon could be reading this wrong. No upgrades, no attack upgrades have been started for our Zerg. Yeah, I think this is being read wrong, because Argon could just be playing super duper safe. Which I don't really like at this point, because the natural base for the Zerg is not even fully saturated.
Yeah, I think he's trying to make a play here.
Yeah, this is more appropriate, I think.
I don't know. There's 3 immortals here and a bunch of sentries. He could, if force field well, hold this pretty easily.
Yeah. It's clear here
A Warp
that-
Prism and 3 immortals can fight 2 armies.
Yeah, that is an accurate statement. It has been factually proven.
Okay, yeah, he just needs to start microing and he wins this fight. So it's kind of bad news for Zerg because he's gonna throw a lot of this supply, and it won't do too much.
The Ravagers are not breaking the force fields that they need to, and I think that's it. A lot of supply was lost out of our Zerg, and that will explain the Spire. So Spire starts, and then Evo Chamber. Queens are walking across the map, or yeah, now they're being called back. That was a very clean hold by our Protoss. If I were the Zerg, I would try to distract up the third. Maybe run in some lings from the north side towards the fourth position. Try to get some damage done that way into the natural. We see some changelings walking into the natural right now. And Argon is actually floating quite a bit. So we see now maybe a feeling of being a bit flustered. Or it could just be saving up for the mutas as there is a healthy amount of
I'm
overload.
sure he wants to mute us out soon, but
Yep.
I think he's been spotted. So Ryan should be able to just counter.
11 mutas on the way, so this is definitely meant to get something done.
I'm just curious if Ryan's seen the Spire, because he could just make a few
Yeah.
more Archons.
Yeah, Ryan did actually scout the Spire as it was building. We don't know if Ryan clicked on it to confirm, but it's definitely in Ryan's vision. Okay, and now the Protoss is coming out at a good time. +2 attack is almost done. Throw some creep. Look at this army. Like, there's no way the Zerg has enough workers.
No.
There's no way. And the mutas are gonna have to fight with this somehow, but with those 2 Archons, it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah. He's making more Stalkers. I think that's a pretty appropriate decision, but Archons would not hurt right now.
Oh wow, and both Archons actually go down quite quickly. Now it's just up to the sentries and Stalkers. The Immortals in the front are doing massive damage.
There's just
both
so
with
many
the Valor and
Immortals.
Yeah, this is a ridiculous amount.
So
Drones are full, this is GG.
the force fields, nice force fields there.
Wow. Well played by Ryan, just going for that solid Immo sentry type of cost.
So 1-1.
Yeah, now we're down to the last game. I believe it's loser pick Argon, so we might have to go back to EU. Let's see. I
No,
guess
it's NA, because
Yeah,
I guess we'll just.
easier for everybody.
Argon's ready. They're both very, very hyped about this final match.
Yeah, dude. This is it. Whoever loses this game right here is not out of the group stage and therefore has no shot at the playoffs.
My goodness.
All right, we're going on to Romanticide.
Yeah,
The fourth base for the Zerg is kind of hard to hold, in my opinion, but I don't at their level, so I might not be qualified to speak.
Alright, in the bottom right hand corner, we have our blue Zerg player, Argon.
And in the top left, we have the red Protoss representing Team Exxon. It's Ryan. So we see an extractor trick from our Zerg. My first thought, yeah, so it's gonna be a 15 hatch. My first thought is a Speedling rush. So the priority with the Speedling rush would be to not get scouted and just try to rush in before the wall is up. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out.
Yeah, we might actually see him put the pull down here on 14. So this will be pretty early,
Yeah.
but it can be held if reacted,
Yes, definitely.
you know, to appropriately. But I don't know. Ryan's not changing anything up too quickly. He's not that in a rush. He knows it's not a 12 pull at least.
Right. It's very difficult to judge the time. Oh, and the probe just misses that extractor trick. But the probe sees the first big sign. So let's assume that Ryan did not notice the hatch timing, did not notice the extractor and the pool timing. Ryan's probe did notice the overlord timing, and that is the biggest signifier, because in a regular hatch first, the overlord never pops at that specific time when the probe is at the Zerg's base.
That's
So
fair,
that could
yeah.
be a big tell.
And he did go Nexus before Core, so his Cybernetics Core is kind of in a place where you can get a lot of surface area of Lings on it if
Yeah,
you were
for
rushing.
sure.
So it's usually hard to hold the wall.
It's gonna be a nest follow-up. I actually really like that, because assuming the Zerglings can't get too much damage done, you still have the Banelings to fall back on.
Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty devastating just because Ryan went for a little greedier opening.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that Adept sees 2 early Zerglings. That is another tell. And the Adept is to see all of these.
Toolings
Oh,
are
this
already
is
inside.
Yeah.
So this is a really bad sign.
blocks
He
the
can't
wall.
close it. He can't close it. Oh no.
Wait.
I don't know if that was the play, but that's okay. He
Okay,
has a
there we
pretty
go.
good wrap on everything.
Oh my god. Okay, so several things just happened. Number one, the wall was... Okay, 3 things just happened. So the Banes are done, and we're gonna have to hold that thought as these Banes are about to
Oh,
get
he's
some
in.
massive damage. This is it, I think.
Unfortunately, this was a huge breach.
Oh my god.
GG.
Argon did it. Gee. So Argon moves on to the playoffs, or moves on to the final
Match.
as Exxon Ryan, my bad, is kicked out of this group stage.
Yeah, GG well played to both players.
Jesus. So here's the thing. I've played that Speedling Rush in formal settings before, but I've played it as a ZVZ build. And I just don't know what happened there. So Argon went for a Baneling follow-up and kept drones in gas, and then delayed the wall even more by morphing Banelings in that position, forcing the wall out of position. I've never seen that happen before. That is a very high-level move.
I think we need to check who we have to grab.
Yeah, so it's going to be Argon versus...
I think we got to do the top brackets still.
Oh,
So it's
my bad, my bad. Sorry about
Ryuchi
that.
versus... Why can't I remember who Argon played? Alright. Either way, we'll make a new party.
Okay.
Let me see. Benefit conveniently sent me all of this. Okay, it's Gyros versus Ryuichi.
All right. Exciting stuff.
We gotta see which okay. I have Ryuichi.
Very nice.
I gotta invite you.
Yeah.
Why don't I see you? Do you see me on your list? Oh, okay.
I do. I just requested.
For some reason I don't.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
And Jaros. Right.
He's on you.
I can pop in to EU if you want and check with Jaros.
Yeah, let's hop
Or-
in. Let's just all hop over there.
Sounds good.
Yes. For some reason I don't see you on my list. Oh, there you are. Oh no, I got it. It worked.
All right. There we go.
I'm just dumb.
Nah, dude. Don't even trip. It's an old UI, you know? Yeah. Sounds about right. I'm sitting around 170 ping right now. Alright.
I don't know who's higher in MMR. I think Gyros.
Let's see. Wow, they're really about the same. Could be a toss-up. That's very kind of you.
The double map veto is nice. Wait, what?
True, that is true.
What?
Oh, wait a second.
Okay.
A, B, B, A. But, okay.
Okay.
Alright, Jaro's gonna come out with the first map pick. Alright, wait. Is it ABC or BAC?
I don't know anymore.
No, it's ABC. Jaro's. Gets first.
Pretty sure it's ABC.
Yeah. Alright, so it's gonna be Submarine, Jagannatha. Oh,
That's true. Submarine is vetoed.
yeah.
We have Jagnatha, we have Pillars, and Romanticide. Pillars.
Okay, so Pillars, Dragonatha, and Romanticide. That's our order. Loser pick. We'll just go by the same thing we did last game, I think.
Mhm.
Or last series.
Okay, we gotta
Alright.
remember this. Pillars, Jagnatha,
Dragonatha,
Romanticide.
Yep. Sounds good. Oh, look, it's the casters.
Caster
We're gonna be
match.
playing each other.
Surprise! We're the final boss.
Yeah, that's right. Alright.
Alright,
Both
let's
are
go.
Ready. It's gonna be a Terran versus Protoss. So Jaros coming out very strong against Ryan with his bio timings. Ryuichi also having a strong showing, so we're gonna have to watch out for Ryuichi's responses to Jaros's aggression. Unless Ryuichi decides to flip the switch and, go for something like a 4-gate blink or
Mhm.
something a little more aggressive like that. I've heard rumors of an 8-gate adept build off of 2 bases. Again, these are just rumors, because I don't even think you can afford 8 gates on 2 bases.
Yeah, that'd be
But,
pretty
you
risky.
never know. Yep.
So Ryuichi's in the top right corner, our blue Protoss.
Yep, and then our bottom left corner of the map, here on Pillars of Gold, we have our red Terran. Goes by the name of Jaros.
Alright, yeah, no, I'm excited because this is the winner's bracket, and whoever takes it here will go on to face Argon, who's basically risen from the dead, and he's trying to get out of
Yeah.
this group.
Argon fought hard and really took that series. Well played. Our only Zerg in this group. Kind of feels bad.
Yeah,
But what are you gonna do? It's only 4 people, so.
hopefully he can make it. I'm a Zerg fan, so that's
Oh, let's go.
that's
Represent.
where I stand.
I dig it.
Alright, Jaros. Gonna fight this probe. The shenanigans begin. Back home, Ryuichi just blocked the Reaper jump spot.
And the gateway has already been rallied. That is symptomatic of a person who has had their unit blocked off by the wall before.
Yeah.
So, everything's very standard. The pylon goes down on the low ground. Obviously, since Ryuichi's opponent is not a Zerg, the scouting is different. There's pretty much no way to avoid the Reaper getting a scout off, so might as well put the pylon on the low ground. Actually, we see... Oh, never mind. Okay, so the Reaper is already out, already across the map.
Yes.
Gonna be very standard out of both players.
Yeah, I don't
The
think
Death
this.
is already out, so... Yeah.
The Reaper's not gonna even get up to see what's going on back in the base.
Yeah. Does force the Shade out of the Adept, although the Adept was headed to the Terran base anyways. And the Reaper is actually going to have an opportunity to pop back in.
He's gonna.
Although there is a second Adept.
Yeah, he's
so
gonna meet
it's
his
the same
brother.
story. Yeah. That's so funny. This is literally the same story.
Yeah, this Adept actually is gonna get a couple
Ooh.
SCVs here.
Yeah. Oh wow, is the bunker gonna finish? The bunker finishes.
Oh,
just
he
in time,
does save
and
it.
the SCV is saved. That's huge. Wow.
This
Stargate
is.
is a little bit late. I think they were waiting on minerals.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a pretty good opener, considering these adepts are already annoying here.
Yeah, that's so funny. There's no SCVs to target, so they're just poking at the command center. The Reaper is being a little bit annoying in the Protoss main as well. Blink just started for our Protoss. I feel like we should see a Robo Bay soon. There's enough gas, there's enough resources for the Robo Bay. The Adept's getting another kill, so these Adepts are really being a nuisance.
Yeah. They're doing really well
Finally.
here.
Yeah. Oh, almost gets the Hellion. Oh, another SUV.
Woo.
Oh my god.
And he gets him out. So pretty worth so far with those adepts, and he's been macroing
Yeah.
behind it, unlike lower league players, where they wouldn't have done anything in that time.
Yeah, for sure. And like I mentioned earlier today in a different series, a 10 worker lead out of Protoss is not unheard of against Terran. However, a 10 worker lead, approximately 10 worker lead, before 5 minutes, that is what you call an early game lead. So I think Jaros is definitely kicking himself over letting those two adepts block so much mining, get so many SUV kills, because that is pretty big going into the mid game.
Yeah, I think you're right that he is behind in that sense, and he's trying to go for a Widow Mine drop here. If he can get some damage off with that, he could probably even it out or even take an advantage. But the Adepts are back, and they pick off a few more SCVs.
A Robo Bay going down before the third base. So I feel like Ruichi is just playing super safe, which I do really like. Because, I mean, think about it. You know, in a normal game, if you do a lot of good harass, then you might even expect a counter of some sort.
That's true, and
So there we go. So 2 probes go down.
yeah, the Widow Mines
Good
don't
pull.
get exactly what they needed.
Yeah. Oh,
And
nice blink.
yeah, he gets away.
All in all, solid defense. I really like this. So the Protoss is not being greedy, as we saw in earlier games. Ryan was possibly over probing, or at least not handling the harass well. Yet here we have Ruichi handling the harass like a pro, not losing too many probes.
Yeah, he did really well there to not take the damage, and an overall L for Jaros in that attack.
That is one way to put it. We see the stalkers across the map, just sort of, keeping an eye out, waiting for that push should it come. And it looks like a push will come out of our Terran. We see both Stim and Combat Shields lined up.
Yeah, once those finish, it's going to be a pretty reasonable force here. Even with a Colossus out, the Raven's already there for the counter.
Yes. So we see a Chrono on the Thermal Lance. I think Ruichi knows what's up, which is why the Stalkers are here. Oh, nice snipe on the SUV, sort of preventing the third, at least for maybe a few more seconds from going down. Warping of Zealots. Second Colossus on the way. And these Stalkers are just sort of buying time right now, forcing that siege up on the tank, which delays the push actually substantially.
Yeah, and I was thinking that Jaros was going to go straight for the throat, but he's taking his time moving across the map, and he's got a drop headed in from the back. There was an observer there, so I'm not sure if Ryuichi spotted it in time.
Ooh, and pretty good damage. I think this is good damage from main. Definitely a really good setup for the main push.
Yeah.
2 are out. That's a healthy amount of Zealots. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. 6 probes going down and a lot of lost mining time.
Yeah, his main
Wow,
is
look at
compromised.
Yeah, for sure. Only now does it get cleaned up, and by then the tank is already sieged up. Oh, although the main push is not doing so well, a lot of the bio gets cleaned up.
Yeah, definitely a lot of the... Oh, and he flies right into the main to reunite with his initial drop. Oh, and he denies the +1.
Oh, that is huge.
That is huge, but
Kickoff
he's
gets out with most of
yeah.
not all, but most.
He needs those medevacs, to be honest, if he wants
Yeah.
to continue to sustain in an army like that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you 100%.
He did lose quite a bit, though. Most of his main force decimated.
So honestly, I don't think either player is coming out of that feeling perfect. You know, because Ryoichi took damage, and plus one was definitely delayed. I'm surprised that Ryoichi is not compensating with a double forge. But maybe that's just my platinum level Protoss mind thinking in weird ways. So on one hand, Ryoichi got his upgrade denied. On the other hand, I was about to say Ryan, I don't know why. Jaros lost a big portion of his main army, so they're both just sort of powering.
Yeah.
Not growing up.
I'm a little more concerned for Jaros at this point because he lost basically the army he has now. So he could have had way more army supply if he had just microed a little better and gotten his boys out.
Oh my god, the SCVs are pulled. One Colossus goes down. I think that, yep, the second one goes down. This is the same thing as before, just in reverse. The Stalkers and the Colossi are being lost.
Yeah, and
so the Protoss army is being lost.
Those Marauders did work there, and to be honest, I think, yeah, this is gonna get picked off.
Amazing move. Just sort of picks up with the Marauders, picks off the Colossi.
It is a good thing he saved some of his medevacs, because that could have gone south.
Yeah, definitely. I do like the Viking switch.
He's got tons, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely helped to zone out both the Stalkers and the Colossi.
And, you know, Ryoichi, his economy is so strong that he's still okay even after losing what he lost there. But he needs to decide what kind of tech he's going to go into to be able to take an army like that. The Storm is pretty late, to be honest. If you wanted to go into the Colossus tech, you know there's a bio army. You would have had Storm a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And it would have dealt with most of the forces that were there.
So I don't know if Jaros delayed +2/+2, but funnily enough, the upgrades are actually going to line up just a little bit. Like, obviously Terran carved out a window where they're going to have a bigger upgrade lead, or a substantial upgrade lead.
Yeah.
But +2 attacks also started for the Protoss. And I want to note that even that snipe early on in the game on the Forge did not delay by as much as I thought it did. So good on Ryoichi for catching up. At least a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't let that kind of deficit, fall too far behind, because otherwise, if Terran hits 3-3 with his bio army, those guys are going to just shred through your boys.
Exactly. I like that move. Very mature of Ryoichi to just back off of Warp Prism. Saw that sort of scouting factory. I've never said that before, but there's a first for everything. That scouting factory saw Warp Prism. And we see a move out from the Terran. Engagement almost in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and that's a pretty scary army, and, that many Vikings can just absolutely decimate these Colossus.
Yeah, you said it just like that. Two Colossi go down.
His bio is sustaining, but his 2-2 didn't finish yet, so it's just completing. And I guess he didn't even need it. He won the initial fight without 2-2, but now he does have a clear advantage, and this bio force is going to be devastating. Even Ghosts in here, EMPing everything.
A Disruptor goes down immediately.
Oh,
a bit too far forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not enough. The bio just barely goes through it, and GG is fall. Wow.
Game 1 goes to Jaros.
Very well played by both players, I think. Jaros obviously had time playing this against Ryoichi than against Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, those were started. In this case, our Terran had to go into the later game because Ryoichi's defense was too solid. So again, very well played by both players.
Yeah, I couldn't have guessed which way it was gonna go, but Yeah, a little late on the storm. He really needed it a lot earlier. It should have been more of a priority.
Yeah,
Once he recognized how much bio there really was, and there weren't really any
yeah.
tanks or anything behind it. There was a couple widow mines, but it was a bio heavy with marauders.
I love that move in the middle of the map, picking off the retreating Colossi just before the last engagement, when Jaros picked up the Marauders, boosted them, and then dropped them immediately to get that snipe on the few remaining Protoss units.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I forget what the order is now.
Oh, no worries. It's going to be Jagannatha next. I think we're on the Europe server. Are we not?
NA server now. We
Oh, my
just
bad,
did
my bad.
Europe.
Got it.
And I'll invite you. There you are.
All right. Thank you.
US East.
All right. All right. I don't remember the last map, but we'll get there when we get there. So game two. Right. Game two.
All right, looks like they're ready. So
Very nice. Oh, game privacy. Very nice.
oh, that was close.
Yeah, it's just that APM, right?
Yeah.
So this is game two, just confirming.
Correct.
Yeah.
And in the bottom left hand side, we have Ryuichi, the red Protoss player.
In the top right corner of the map, Jagannatha game two, we have the blue Terran currently up 1-0. It's Jaros.
Yeah, he had a pretty powerful showing with his bio. A really strong split, two-pronged attack when he dropped into the main. Did tons of damage. I think that really put Ryuichi behind. Otherwise, he would have probably had everything lined up a little better.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest though, Jaros only has showcased one build the entire day today, and I'm just worried that if Ryuichi, figures it out, then Jaros is not gonna have a response. Because honestly, I really think Ryuichi played a good game that last game. Even though he lost, it was well played, and he definitely came close to winning.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. The only thing that was missing really was that splash damage you need against the bio armies. Otherwise, they just out-sustain your army, even with your Protoss shields.
Yeah. I think the best example of that, and real quick, we see a reactor before Reaper, so I think Jaros is just mixing it up just a little bit in the early game. Anyways, what I was about to say was, like you said, you need that splash, and one Colossus is not going to cut it. Scouting probe goes down. Point being, we did see a Disruptor come out, but it was too little too late. It was rallied too far forward, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that the Disruptor came too late. If it had come earlier and fought with the main army, then it would have been different, obviously.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Ryuichi has a strong build order, and if he will get away with it, we might see him take this match.
For sure. Although, just as we say that, we see a reactored barracks coming out. A second scouting probe, which is very smart considering there was no Reaper. And Jaros sort of countering that by hiding the second Marine. And we see more Marines coming out, so this is going to be a much earlier bio push. And if Ryuichi does not suspect it, it could be mid. Although the Adept goes in. Oh man, these guys are just playing at such a high level, I can't even keep up, Like, both of them were are constantly scouting, constantly outplaying each other in different scenarios.
Yeah, they definitely have to as well, because one of these guys will move forward, the other will get knocked out of the group.
Definitely.
So they're definitely want to make it to the next stage of the tournament. I think it'll be group stage 2, and from there you actually make it into the playoffs. So it's far from over.
Right.
Already we're seeing some very high level matches though.
Yes. A very cute move out with 6 Marines, but I don't think it looks so cute to Ryuichi, who only has 1 Adept and a half-finished shield battery. This could actually do a lot.
Yeah.
And a couple of Hellions. Uh-oh.
He needs to press his advantage right now. I think the Hellions are gonna have to be. Yeah, they gotta chase that Adept.
Oh, the Adept goes down.
So
I
that,
like this move for the Hellions, just sort of going straight for the probes. And the probes are cold, actually. Jeez.
ooh, the damage is starting to stack up with these Hellions now.
Yeah, for sure. And check that out, a Cloak Banshee follow-up. If Ryuichi's not ready for this, it's just going to be a second wave of harassment. I love that. The spare Hellion just runs in and gets a couple more kills. 8 probes?
That harassment was ridiculous. And
Yeah.
although it looks like Protoss is like on equal footing, he was 8 workers ahead. You gotta keep in mind.
Yeah. This is something else. I like this counter by Ryuichi. You know, one of the best ways to scout is just to attack. And I think it is going to see the Banshee. It sees the Banshee.
Wow, that was perfect timing.
Yeah. Another shield battery going down. The RoboBay was already started before the Banshee was scouted. But at this point, the Cloak Banshee play is shut down, I'd say, because the Adept is going to come out. Sorry, the Observer. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, now it will get out, and yeah, that Banshee's basically gonna be null and void. But I like what Ryuichi did, and you said it perfectly. The best way to scout there, he just attacked, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah. Look at that. Chronoed Observer and the Banshees are just staying at home. Oh, no, my bad. Now they're moving out. But look, the Observer's already out. These Cloak Banshees are not going to do anything. Hopefully not.
Yeah, he's gonna try, and I mean, I think that's the best thing he could do with them. You know, kind of keep the pressure on, poke at different angles, and you get free scout as well. So it could be worse for sure.
Yeah. All right. So heading into the mid game, just before these Cloak Banshees, you know, do their thing. We're seeing the same build order out of Jaros. We're going to see the same Stim, Combat Shield, and +1 attack timing. Okay, Cloak Banshees are coming in at a really good spot. Going to get 2 kills so far, 3 kills, 4 kills.
Oh my
Stalkers
god.
are in position. Oh my god, these Banshees are doing too much. These Banshees are doing too much.
That is a lot of damage. And they do escape with like minimal damage. So they could just be repaired after this. Ryuichi, he knows he's in trouble, so he's heading across the map.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's a decent call, but you can't face these tanks head on.
Yeah, 2 tanks, a bunch of bio. There's no way. Good micro on the Stalkers. I think Ryuichi is probably kicking himself, being like, oh, why didn't I get that Marine kill? But, again, good micro with the Stalkers. So their job right now is just to delay as long as possible.
As long as he can, yeah.
Yep.
Charge is about to complete, so that could help tank some of the tank fire. But I don't think he has the count to be able to hold this push.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to look at supply count, Terran is up by almost 30 supply. And that is never a good sign. Ooh, these probes are not mining.
Yeah, the Banshees made another swipe at him. And the tanks aren't siege, so this is actually the best fight Ryuichi could ask for. But I don't think it's enough still.
Oh my god, GG. Jaros takes it. 2-0, right?
The Banshees actually just did way too much damage.
Yeah, that
Just
was
way too
amazing.
much.
Jaros' micro is solid. You know, Jaros just shows up with a couple of various openers, all of which do incredible damage, sets him up for a solid mid-game push, and then that's game. That's a really well played series by Jaros. Wow. Is I think this is the winner's match,
Or
right? So
sorry,
now we're going to the final.
yeah,
Yeah,
final match. I miss.
yeah.
But who do we have
It's gonna be
waiting?
Ryuichi against Argon.
Argon.
Yeah.
Wait, why Ryuichi? I thought Jairus won that.
Yeah, Ryuichi is playing in the next one because Jaros already won. So Jaros moves on. And then the final matchup is Ryuichi versus Argon. Because they're playing for the second spot in group stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the bracket.
Yeah, so as of right now, we have Jaros in first place, moving on from this group stage. We have Exxon Ryan in fourth place, who got knocked out. So he's not going to be moving on out of this group stage. And then for fighting for second and third place, we have Jaros and Argon. Sorry, Ryuichi and Argon.
Alright, I think Argon was Europe, if I'm not wrong.
Ryuichi, let's head to Europe for Argon. Alright, so we're going to move to EU.
Alright, let's see if he should be on.
Oh,
Alright,
my StarCraft crashed. 1 second, sorry.
no worries.
All right, so far we've had a lot of great games today. We had the first match, we had the second match, and then we went into winners and losers, and now we are in the final match to determine who takes second place and moves on, and who takes third place and doesn't move on out of this group stage. So this is going to be just as critical as the losers match.
Yep, one of these guys will move forward. And then next group stage, I think, will start this coming week.
Let's see. So we are in group stage 2, and I think tomorrow is going to be the next group. But the group stage, this is the last group stage. So after this will be playoffs. But we still have groups B, C, and D to go in this stage. So. All right. So now we're just waiting on Argon to get on, and then we can get the show on the road.
Yeah, I sent him a message. I don't see him yet.
This is gonna be exciting. We're gonna see our only Zerg face off against the top Protoss in this group.
Is this gonna be PvP? Is that what this is?
No, Protoss versus Zerg. Because Argon is Zerg,
Argon
and
Zerg,
then-
that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't. He hasn't responded on Discord either, so
Hmm. Does it show that Argon is online right now? Oh yeah, they are online.
I see him on Discord,
Yeah,
but it just says he's playing StarCraft. I don't know.
they could be warming up on an alt.
Mm-hmm.
Let me message them as well. Okay, Argon.
All right.
Exciting stuff. So we're either gonna see Ruichi move on, or Argon, and not both. I don't know what else to say. These are some high level plays with a lot at stake.
Yeah, I I don't know. It's gonna be close, that's for sure. So these guys are just doing their vetoes. All right.
So Ruichi has first pick, being A. Okay, Lightshade, one.
So it's gonna be Death Aura or Romanticide.
Yeah.
Death
Okay.
Aura.
Plethora. And Romanticide is last,
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah. So
Alright.
let's go ahead, get into our final match.
Yes, sir. So I think I'm a little bit biased. I don't know about you, but I'm a bit biased for the Zerg. It's always nice to see high level Zerg plays. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't respect Ryuichi. Ryuichi showing some very strong games. Not quite enough to put him over Jeros, who had some very, very strong bio timings as a Terran player. But still, I mean, both of these guys are really high level.
Yes, they are. So I'm not gonna be surprised if things are pretty standard to start off, and then it's all about that economy damage. We've seen nobody really just goes up for the A move army fight.
Yeah, right. Right.
So in the top
Um,
top left corner will be our favored Zerg player, I guess, Argon from Team Pariah.
Yes, sir. In the bottom right corner, we have the red Protoss, Ruichi. Going to be a very, very intense set of matches. I do have to note that other than the proxy hatch in Argon's debut game today, Argon has not been going for anything excessively cheesy aside from the Speedling Bane Bust closing out the series against Ryan.
Yeah, he's shown he's got some variety when he needs it, but for the most part, I think he's just trying to get on strong 3 base economy before he makes any big tech switches.
Yeah, yeah. We do see an early pull, and I do have to say that as a Zerg myself, I think that's part of why I personally have not looked into mid-game timings. Because with Zerg, mid-game timings simply are not strong enough against Terran and Protoss to see play more often than, for example, cheeses or late game, or macro late game. And the developers of StarCraft 2 have said quite often that they do intend to make it so that each race is stronger at different points in the game, which is part of the beauty of StarCraft 2. And I think that's part of what's making Argon such a strong player, because he knows strong cheeses and he also has solid macro play. Very respectful.
That's a fair point. I think it comes from experience too. So he did get blocked at his natural, but he made 6 lings to kind of go counter harass, and it's double zealot, so they're not going to be necessarily able to just kill all these guys for sure, but they will be able to defend for now.
Right.
And
solid defense from our Protoss, even keeping that probe as a secondary wall, just in case the Zealots get trapped outside.
rightfully so. I'm not too sure what Argon's gonna go for. We should just see him probably just take his third. He has a lot of lings, but without speed, they're not really gonna be useful for now.
Right. Oh, the Adept finishes.
Oh, the Adept gets himself
surrounded.
caught.
That's a big mistake.
Oh no.
That denies scouting. That denies a lot of things out of our Protoss. And actually, not only does Argon get a full Overlord scout, but for some reason our Protoss is a little bit supply blocked. Hopefully for our Zerg, the Twilight is scouted, but... Oh, yep. Yeah. The Zerg also clicked on it just to double check, so... Argon knows what's up, now it's just a matter of being ready for it.
Exactly. And I think you're right, a couple missteps from Ryu Ichi. But he has been playing, he is playing off the heels of another series. So it could be, some slight fatigue just causing him to misstep here and there, but he's nothing too critical yet.
For sure. Okay, so it's going to be Glaive Adepts. Argon is still in a decent position, only lost 1 drone to the Adept, and that's the first time we've seen that happen for Ryuichi, because Ryuichi has been able to get solid damage before. The Lings are going back out, probably again just to scout. Oh, do you see that drone in the middle of the map following the Zergling? I think that's also a bit of mismatch there.
I think Argon kind of overcommitted on the Lings, and his third is super late now, so things are looking good for Ryuichi.
Yeah, a little bit. Lair going down, Rotorn started. This could be scary. I don't know.
I think it will be, just because Argon is fully committed to droning up right now, especially as his third's about to finish. So this Adept timing is gonna hit the sweet spot. I think that's what we're
Possibly.
gonna see. There isn't
Argon
quite
is-
enough to defend yet.
Yeah. Well, actually, okay. Argon only has 5 lings, which is not enough. Typically, like let's say both sides are playing full macro. You know, hatch first, no early lings, no early pool.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have maybe 10 lings, and then they stall enough for maybe 5 roaches, and then you've got a proper army to deal with. Or you've got a proper split army to deal with all of the adepts. But right now, we're just not seeing that. We are seeing more roaches just about to pop. And actually, I think Ardon could have played this perfectly if the roaches pop on time. Just enough drones, just enough roaches. This could be a good timing.
Yeah, he's definitely a little short on the lings, but
Yeah.
if he splits well, he should be able to hold this with no issues.
So this is a funny situation of this sort of jokes on you kind of scenario where there are no drones. There's just one drone at the third, and now the third is actually being targeted.
Yeah, and pretty good micro so far from Protoss, but he's gonna get cornered here and lose a few of these guys.
Is the shade finished? The shade is not finished. That is excellent judgment.
Yeah.
Sort of,
Picking the third off is pretty big. He's gonna go try for it. He does shade in that time, so he's...
oh, this is a huge opening.
Yeah, you can see Argon, he's starting to break in this defense.
24 workers now, 23 to 45 foes. This is game. Ryuichi even has a bank behind this. Well, both of them are floating a little bit, but Ryuichi more so. Plus, the Zerg has no income at this point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Argon has been broken.
Oh my god.
We talked about how there weren't enough lings earlier, and he did get roaches out, but Ryuichi doesn't want to fight the roaches. He's just gonna avoid them. And back home, you know, his economy is so strong. He can tech into whatever he wants, and probably hold
exactly.
if Argon attacks.
Oh, look at that. Just poking in again, gets an extra kill. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need the lings. And it seems counterintuitive because adepts counter lings, but you need the lings for zoning, not for fighting. The roaches do the fighting, but in that case, you don't have the tools to properly zone out the adepts. You get scenarios like this where even almost at 8 minutes, the adepts are still being a nuisance.
Yeah, the threat of it by itself is keeping Zerg at home, and the more he does that, the further ahead the red player gets. So I think the damage, like we said, was pretty substantial, and Ryuichi can just mass up a pretty powerful death ball, and you know, eventually he'll attack.
Yeah. I think this fire is more of a Hail Mary than anything else. Which is not a bad call, you know, if you're low on drones, you just prioritize gas, and it could work out in your favor for the mutas, because obviously mutas have cost 100 gas, 100 minerals, so very heavy on the gas count. Look at these adepts still getting kills with the War Prism.
Yep.
Oh my god.
They're still getting kills. Just to look at the totals, 34 drones have been taken out.
Oh my god.
Quite a lot of adepts died too, but I think the damage is way more for the Zerg.
Yeah, this push is deadly. This push is definitely deadly. Spire's not even done yet. Third is definitely gonna go down.
Losing the third again, I think it's just the nail in the coffin there.
Yes, sir. Look at that. These drones are rallied to the main when there are still adepts there, and only now do the roaches finally clean it up.
Yeah, it's Argon doing well to, you know, try to claw his way out of this, but it's just way too much damage was done earlier.
Yeah, decent force field, but these roaches are being so aggressive.
He's sniping the immortals. I think Ryuichi didn't micro his War Prism earlier.
Right.
So he did lose a couple of mortals. One more shows up from reinforcements.
More zealots. This is it.
Yeah,
This is GG.
and this what you're seeing is the result of no economy. You know, maybe he could have
Exactly.
remaxed, but there's just way
Exactly.
too little now.
Even on something as cheap as Roaches, you know, an economy, an eco deficit of that much is not enough to save you from everything. Yep, and GG is fall. Wow, that is amazing.
Good game.
Yeah, Jesus. So the score is 1-1, I believe.
Did we just switch servers? Is that what we did?
Let's see.
No, our chat's here, so it has to be
Oh,
first
my bad.
game.
Yeah. So many series today. My bad. I'm used to casting like show matches and stuff, so I get all these series mixed up in my head. That's my bad.
Okay, let me just look at this. Light Shade Death or
Yep.
Romanticide. So are we switching to...
Yeah, we're switching to EU, I think, because this is on.
I think we're going to NA.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. Again, I keep getting mixed up. That's my bad.
No, it's okay.
Alright.
Yeah, okay, I'm just making sure Argon got the message.
Okay. My game is being a nuisance again. I gotta relog. I think it's when I switch between regions.
Oh, okay, alright.
Yeah. Alright, so now it's match point for our Protoss, which means that Argon has to win 2 games in a row in order to move on out of this group, whereas Ruichi only needs to take 1 more, and then Ruichi moves on. So,
Correct. Do you know... Is it Jagnatha?
which map is... It's either Jagannatha or Deathwing. Deathwing. Yep, okay. Alright, so game 2 is gonna be Deathwing.
Okay. Alright, alright.
Alright, game privacy, and then race check, and then we'll be good to go. Alright,
Both are ready, alright.
yeah. Let's get it done. I'm sure both of them are itching to get into the next game.
Alright, I'll let you start this one off.
For sure. Deathwing is I think it's a pretty standard map. I haven't heard anything too bad about it. I've heard bad things about cannon rushes, but we haven't seen any cannon rushes today. So in the bottom right corner, we have our red Protoss, currently up 1-0. Representing Team Exxon, it's Ruichi.
Yes, in the top left corner we have the blue Zerg player. I don't know if he's still favored. It's Argon.
Yes, sir.
He got hit by kind of it's more of an off meta build, you know, that adept push now, because it can get handled pretty easily, but we saw him forget the handful of lings he needed to hold that, and once he got split, the roaches never actually got to the targets they were trying to kill.
Yes, yes. All in all, I suspect it was nothing more than the result of the early pool. The early pool might have given Argon a bit too much confidence because Argon saw, hey, I already have so many lings out, I don't need to make any more. And by the time the adepts were at his side of the map, he only had 5 lings left, and he mistakenly thought it was enough, probably. That's just my suspicion.
Yeah.
It looks like that's how it played out.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. But this time Argon playing the more macro opener, just going
Yes.
hatch first. Protoss will go Nexus into core. So this is looking to be more of a standard game.
Definitely. And again, since we're back on Death Roar, it's back to that 2 building wall. So already the wall is finished.
Yeah, very safe feeling for a Protoss. If you can make that, you can just comfortably max out his workers on the 2 base.
This pro being a bit of a nuisance, just kind of poke in, poke out.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
just
everything's standard.
he's just gonna probably, you know, leave as soon as these lings are out, but typically
Yeah.
you want to also maybe try to deny the 3rd with an
Oh, there
early
you go.
adept or something.
Yeah. Ryuichi has the same idea.
So he's doing what he can until these lings are here, and an adept is being chronoed, and Twilight is
So-
the opener.
Yep, yep. Today we have not seen any Protoss games aside from Ryan's Skytoss loss that have not been Twilight. All of our Protoss have been playing Twilight against both Zerg and Tang.
I believe you are
And
correct.
this Overlord gets another Scout. Oh, it's going to be a Stalker first, so possibly playing a bit safer at the risk of not being able to Scout. And that's just because the Adept is already across the map, already scouting out the 3rd Zerg base.
Yeah, and oh,
Oh my god, the Shade cancels and does not see either the gas count or the Bane Nest.
yeah. So this is gonna be pretty devastating if Ryuichi gets hit by Banelings, as he's trying to go into Glaive Adept again for his opener.
Yeah, for sure. Although Ryuichi's one saving grace is that his Adept did scout that there were only 5 drones at the natural. So hopefully that's some sort of indication. And yeah, it is, because we see two shield batteries starting. Oh, the Adept just barely doesn't get out alive.
Oh boy, Ryuichi won't even get the chance to launch an attack. I think his
Yeah,
defense has to
for
be really good here. Unfortunately, he didn't have a sentry. So once these Banelings get out here, it's going to be pretty devastating.
yeah. I think this is a really good setup. You know, that Stalker out front instead of the Adept. Although, here we go, Banelings are starting to connect. Shield batteries are doing their work. A sentry is done, and 2 sentries are done. Well defended. This is as good as you could hope for.
Yeah, that was very scary. I guess Argon didn't want to commit into it. I think if he wanted, he could have taken the Cyber Core out. He had quite a
Yeah.
lot of Banelings, but again, if he loses this game, he's out. So he's playing safe rather than sorry.
And now we see Ryuichi taking a decent worker lead, and obviously those Banelings are not doing anything at home. Those Zerglings are not doing anything at home. Adepts are starting to move out. The War Prism is already at the 3rd location, so
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know, if Ryuichi splits Argon like he did last game, it's gonna be very difficult.
Yes.
But hopefully Argon just control units his boys and gets this done.
Oh, you do not want to fight into that with just wings. The drones are already evacuated. There is no roach warring. Not even being started. I like it. You know what? Just go deep into the wings. Why not?
This
Yeah, Baneling is like, it
is,
could be.
yeah, he should
I'm just meaning.
at
Because of
all
course this is not-
costs. I think at all costs he needs to defend this third, but this is
Yeah, third goes down. Can't really do much.
and without
Oh,
Baneling's
I-
speed, he just has to stay on creep and pray.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, that is so many adepts.
It's a huge split as well. It was pretty well done,
Yeah, yeah.
and the splits are really good. That's why these adepts did
Yeah.
not take critical damage.
GG. Oh my god. Woo! Ryuichi, like, just played an excellent series right there.
All right, Ryuichi moves on in the tournament. Really well played in those two matches.
Wow, dude. What a group. These guys are so high level. We have Jaros the Terran moving up, as well as Ryuichi the Protoss, who just won this series against the Zerg. And then, unfortunately, the two who got knocked out of the group stage are going to be Argon in third place, the Zerg, and Exxon's Ryan, a teammate of Ryuichi, not showing today, ending in fourth place. So very well played by everybody.
This is a very close group. I'm not gonna lie. But
Yeah.
some players brought their A game, and I mean, there's gonna be a winner and loser. But they all played very well. It was fun to watch. A lot of fun to cast.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me. That was amazing. Wow.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'm sure they'll have some more in the coming weekends. So I'm
Oh,
sure
for sure.
we'll do another cast.
Yeah, definitely. This is good timing because I'm team captain for my college's StarCraft team, and I got my team games in an hour, so very good timing here.
All right, perfect, man. I guess we will close this off then.
sir.
That's been the Destiny Star League. I put the Discord server in the chat if you're interested in joining, if you're under 18 or just following along. I think they'll have some matches later this evening or tonight on their personal server. I think they have a Twitch channel and a Trovo account. I think it's Trovo, the other streaming
Yep,
service.
Solo.
So there should be games later tonight, but otherwise, thanks guys for tuning in. I'm King Shivy. This is T Dragon, and
Yes, sir.
we'll be casting for you guys soon. I hope again.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks so much, Shivi.
All right, man. I'll catch you later.
Yeah, for sure.